If we learned anything in week 3, it's that everything changes from week to week in college football. Ohio State won, but just barely. Alabama lost. And Auburn? Uh-oh. Remember that Stanford team that scored 6 in a week 1 loss at Northwestern? Try 41 in a win at USC. And oh yeah, USC. Everywhere, preseason favorites are dropping and presuppositions are being exposed as dead wrong. And it all only means this: we're in the midst of another wild, wonderful, and wacky season of college football. After 3 weeks, your leaders, your favorites in the SEC West are Ole Miss, LSU, and Texas A&M, just like we all had it at the beginning, right? The teams we thought might be special, Alabama and Auburn, well, so far, they're not close to that. Ole Miss notched the biggest win of the season, beating Alabama in Tuscaloosa. And LSU might one day have to pass, but defense and a run game was all the Tigers needed to blow out Auburn. What happens from here? Who knows? We're a long way from finished. But the idea that the West was filled with playoff caliber teams, that's taken a serious hit. It's an old football truism. If you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have 1 quarterback. As premier examples, Alabama and Ohio State. The Crimson Tide lost at home to Ole Miss in large part because of 5 turnovers. That's a valid argument. But it feels like more losses could be coming because of the inconsistent and frankly mediocre play of Jake Coker and Cooper Bateman. But with Ohio State and its championship caliber quarterbacks, we thought 2 might work. Then came Northern Illinois on Saturday. Cardell Jones threw a couple of picks, he was lifted. Barrett wasn't much better. It's probably time for Urban Meyer to pick 1 guy and stick with him. It's easy to hear good things about Notre Dame and just write them off to hype. But this year's team at full strength was clearly very good. And even after a run of devastating injuries, they're still pretty good. Just ask Georgia Tech, which was favored to win in South Bend, but lost. At this point, it's hard to know what the ceiling is. Are they a playoff contender or not? But so far, the Irish just keep winning. He was good last season, but LSU sophomore tailback Leonard Fournette's coming out party came against Auburn on Saturday. He had 228 yards and 3 touchdowns on 19 carries, but it's a whole lot more than the stats. It's how he achieved them. Did you see the play where he basically lifted at full speed and Auburn defensive back and just threw him over his head and kept going for the touchdown? You're going to see that play a lot more and a lot more plays like it. Comparisons are unfair, but when Les Miles compared Fournette a couple of years ago to Michael Jordan in terms of his impact, after Saturday, that doesn't seem so crazy.